So planning performance domain. This domain is all about addressing activities and functions which are associated with the initial, ongoing, and evolving organization and necessity in the project deliverables. Now, what are the things we can understand from this particular domain? Basically, the project progress in an organized way with the coordination and deliberation in deliberate manner, holistic approach to delivery of the product outcome, elaboration of information to product deliverables, situational time spent planning, sufficiency on planning to control stakeholders' expectation, and process of adoption of planning based on emerging needs. Now, before going further, we need to understand some definition. First one is estimate. So what is estimate? A quantitative assessment of the likely amount or outcome of a variable such as project cost, resources, effort, or duration. Focus on the words. Estimate means it is a quantitative assessment of something which is having an outcome, and the outcome is variable. And what are those? Those could be project cost, those could be resources, those could be effort, or those could be durations, right? Then comes accuracy. Within the quality management system, accuracy is an assessment of correctness. Means wherever or whenever we used to say it is accurate. So what does it mean? Accurate means assessment of correctness. That means we used to judge, we used to assess whether the thing is right or not, whether it is correct or not. Okay, that is known to us as accuracy. Precision. Okay. So within the quality management system, precision is an assessment of exactness. So when we are talking about accuracy, it is the assessment of correctness, and precision is an assessment of exactness. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now can you see the difference within the accuracy and precision?
Yes.
I believe previously we were not that much of focused with these two words. Like we felt like both the words are very close and both the words are same. But right now we are discovering that both the words are not same. They are very much different to each other. The first one is an assessment of correctness. We are focused towards correctness of that thing. And the second one is we are focused towards exactness. Then comes crashing. Crashing is a method used to shorten the schedule duration for the least incremental cost by adding resources. Crashing means, can you remember yesterday I was telling you fast tracking?
Yes.
It's like compiling the methods.
Yes.
Before the time completion of.
Yes, yes.
Reducing
So
the
to
steps.
do fast tracking, we need crashing. Crashing means what? When we tend to finish any project work before the given time, before the scheduled time, without compromising with the quality. What we need to do? We need to work more. If you want to work more, what we are in need? We are in need of resources. That is what crashing method is. Okay. Fast tracking. You all already aware of the fast tracking. So a schedule compression method in which activities or phases normally done in a sequence are performed in parallel for at least a portion of the duration. That is what fast tracking is. Then comes budget. So we all are aware of this thing, budget. So the approved estimate for the project or any other work breakdown structure, component, or any schedule activity means it is the approved estimate. When we are telling the budget, that means it is the approved estimate what we have with us. So these are some sort of definition which no need to memorize, need to understand, right? You can take a screenshot or it is available in Pinbox 7th edition. If you want to read, you can take a screenshot, it's okay. So in order to create project deliverables, we know that planning is needed. Whenever you are going to create something, is it possible that without planning you can do that thing? It is not possible. Planning is an inevitable thing which you need to complete, which you need to do. Before getting the authorization of big project, actual thing what gets started is planning. So the project team gets started with initial project documents like project charter, project scope, and others to identify defined path and achieve desired outcomes. Then comes planning variable. When we learned about the definition of project, then we found that every project is unique in its nature,
Yes, sir.
right? So the amount of the time to complete the project or the frequency of planning will vary from one to one, right? So there are some variables which influences the planning, but they are not, you know, limited to some sort of things. They are what? They are the development approach, project deliverables, organizational requirements, market conditions, legal or regulatory restrictions. Now, if we talk about the development approach, then the development approach can influence how much, and when planning is conducted. As example, I can say that when you plan for specific phase of chosen life cycle in your organization, maximum amount of the planning is performed open. Throughout the project, the plan gets elaborated. Again, when in case of you know any designated product, we use prototype. So after the stakeholder agrees to the design, then only further planning gets done based on the prototype, right? So you can understand the impact of this variable development approach. Then comes project deliverables. So planning is based on project deliverables. Construction projects require significant upfront planning and design approvals, logistics, these all things, right? Because it's a heavy thing. But in technology projects, they may use adaptive planning to allow for evaluation, and the changes are based on stakeholders' feedback. We already knew that a maximum amount of IT projects are based on either agile or hybrid, and the scope of the project may get any time because customers are being engaged to provide their feedback, and based on their feedback they design their or upgrade their systems. Then comes organizational requirement. The organizational governance, policies of the organization, its procedures, process, and culture may require project managers to produce specific planning artifacts. Then comes market conditions. So when project is produced, when project is product centric, right? When the project is product centric, then the possibility of planning of the project is open and focused on speed, because stakeholders always tends to release the product faster. Then comes legal or regulatory restrictions. To release the project deliverables into the market securely, regulatory agencies may require to plan documents before granting authorization to proceed. These all are the things which comes under planning variable. These are some sort of the things which is having influence. That means when you are planning, when you are planning for your project, you need to understand some considerations which is having great influence over your project. आप कैसे प्रोजेक्ट डेवलप कर रहे हो, प्लानिंग के टाइम पे आपको समझना पड़ेगा कि क्या क्या वो चीज है जो इसको इफेक्ट कर सकती है. What are that? Development approach. Which type of development approach you are choosing? That is the main thing which is influencing your further development. Project deliverables. Based on the project deliverables, you need to plan for your project. Market requirement. Okay. You need to understand the market requirement or the organizational requirement. Okay. Market conditions. You have to understand something about the project, whether it's a product centric or it's a result centric or it's a SaaS based software, means service centric. Based on the market condition, you need to plan for the development. And lastly, legal or regulatory restrictions. So you can't do whatever you want. Suppose if you are developing a software based on AI, so there are certain cyber security rules and terms and conditions which you need to abide by. You can't do whatever you want because AI is a dangerous thing. So legal or regulatory restrictions should be there. Like you have taken a project of creating a software which is based on accounting. Now we all know that in India we follow goods and service tax. Based on that legal or regulatory restrictions, you need to create that software. And in your software, it must be a must-do job which you need to include in the software in order to complete the taxation. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm not getting your
Yes, sir.
voice. Okay, okay. Kalpana, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
I don't think it is clear, right?
I have heard few things. I mean,
Mhm.
it's like legal and regulatory things, market conditions,
Mhm. Mhm.
but project deliverables, I didn't.
Okay. So why you are telling that? Okay, I have understood. See, I can understand from your reply, right? The way you have told, yes, I can understand that you didn't understood it because right, because the yes you used to tell when you understood is bit different, and the yes you are telling right now when you didn't understood. I can also understand that. Fine. Okay, so you are facing problem by understanding deliverables, right?
Yes.
So what do you think? What is deliverable?
Uh, like whatever work or project we have taken, it should be given on time with the accuracy.
No,
No.
no. Deliverables means the output from the project.
Okay.
Why you have initiated a project? Because you want to get something, right? What you would like to get?
Yes.
It could be a product, it could be a
Yes.
service, or it could be a result. Suppose
Okay.
you are creating a computer, a laptop. It's a project to develop a new laptop, which can be used
Mm-hmm.
in overheating places like in Afghanistan, in Dubai, like this. It can bear heat. Okay. So the main focus over here is to create a product that is laptop, which can bear the heat up to 62 degrees centigrade, the outside heat.
Okay.
For your project, your deliverable would be the laptop.
Okay. Understood.
Suppose you are creating a software,
Mm-hmm.
and the main agenda of the client
Mm.
behind creating the software is that person would like to rent it to the financial institutions or the institution which he would like to. That is the reason this type of software is known to us as SaaS based software, means software as a system.
Okay.
So it is a service. So
Mm-hmm.
again, you have undertaken a project and you are getting an output, which is a service.
Okay.
Now, you have taken a project in research and development. You are developing a robot, or you are developing a language, you are developing an AI thing. It is not a product, it is not a service.
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand after completion of the project whether you have received valid result or not,
Mm-hmm.
the outcome. So in
Okay.
three ways, you are getting only one thing, that is outcome. So the outcome in a project is equivalent to deliverable.
Yes.
Now understandable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the yes is okay. Understandable, yes. And anything else apart from this?
No.
Okay. Are you in problem, Kalpana?
Sorry?
Are you in problem?
No, no, no.
Because I can't see that engagement today. So I feel like you're in problem or a bit tensed.
No, nothing, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now other variables are what? Delivery, estimating, schedule, and budget, which can become main constraint of a project while planning. Right. So when we plan for a project deliverable, we need to understand the delivery of the project, estimating of the project, schedule, the timeline, and the budget. Now, when we when you will start to plan, you need to understand business case, stakeholder requirement, project, and the product scope. Okay. Let me make yourself clear in the product and project scope. Features, see this, understand this thing. Features, function, and characteristics within a product is known as product scope, right? Features, functions, and characteristics within a product is known to us as product scope. And on the other hand, when you perform some work to deliver a product or service or result associated to that specific feature and function is known to us as project scope. मतलब आप अगर कोई प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हैं उसमें जो फीचर्स आप डाल रहे हो वो हो गया प्रोडक्ट स्कोप,
Hmm.
और वो फीचर्स को बनाने के लिए जो एंडेवर आपको देना पड़ेगा
Mhm.
वही है आपका प्रोजेक्ट का स्कोप.
Sir, और एक बार समझाइए.
Okay, suppose you are creating a software like Paytm. Okay, you can transfer money, you can do several things,
Hmm.
right? UPI service and all. Now it is a product.
Yes.
So what is the scope of this product?
Raw material of that product?
No,
No.
the scope of the product is sending
It's
money,
all functions and all.
right? The sending money, using the UPI, connecting with the bank server,
Characteristics.
online cashless transaction, right? This is the product scope.
Product.
Why the product? Okay, what is the scope of a washing machine is?
Washing machine.
Washing out the clothes. No.
That's it. Why you are
No,
taking so much tension?
It's features. Sir. It features.
Features and
Right. The main thing is washing the clothes, right?
yeah.
After that, you can set so many programs. You can do this. You can do that. The hatch is closing with the help of some. What is that? I'm forgetting the term, the name.
Top load and
Hydraulics. Hydraulics.
Hydraulics. Yeah.
Right. So these are the features in a washing machine.
So they are the scope of
They are
product.
the scope of the product.
Okay.
Now, what is scope of the project?
Project. Finance, manpower.
How to create that hydraulic system, how to create that program, how to create that washing machine work at that place.
The resources behind that.
You can't say resources, you can't say the making thing.
Okay.
Suppose a company is coming up with a television, right?
Hmm.
So the company would like to come up with a Google OS TV where people can install application from Play Store, and the picture would be very clear. This is the product scope. Now, what would be the project scope? The project scope is how they are building the screen. So first of all, they are using LED panel. Then they are using some AMOLED, Super AMOLED, OLED type of screen. Okay, they are using some filters. They are producing that thing for the company. They are providing Dolby Digital sound system into it. Okay, they are
Means like the
providing
equipment
everything.
which is used to make
They are
that product.
creating, yes, not equipment, how they're making the product. Means they need to prepare that thing. जैसे कि हम लोग खाना खाते हैं, खाना खाना हमारा स्कोप है,
हाँ.
लेकिन खाना कैसे बनाते हैं मम्मी जी, that is project.
बहुत confusion.
Confusion. Okay, when you eat chow mein,
Yeah.
that is the scope of the restaurant. That is the scope of you. Sorry, that is the scope of you to eat chow mein, right?
Hmm.
But when your friend or a restaurant cook creates that chow mein, that is the scope of the project. How you are creating, you are using masala, you are using mirch, you are using the raw materials and preparing that food for you.
Hmm.
That is the project scope. अगर आप कुछ अगर मान लो कि आप कोई प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हो, उसमें जितना सारा फीचर्स है, जितना सारा ऑप्शन है, वो रहा आपका प्रोडक्ट का स्कोप, और वो बनाने के लिए जो एंडेवर लगता है वो है प्रोजेक्ट का स्कोप. गवर्नमेंट वांट्स अ फ्लाईओवर, दैट इज गवर्नमेंट स्कोप. लेकिन वो फ्लाईओवर को बनाने के लिए क्या क्या लगता है? मैन पावर लगता है,
Hmm.
राइट? फिजिकल रिसोर्स लगता है. सो ह्यूमन रिसोर्स, फिजिकल रिसोर्स, using these two things you are building the entire flyover. That is what is the scope of project. Now understandable or still it is unclear?
In some scenario, it is understandable, but in some scenario, it is not.
Okay, what is the problem you're facing? You can tell me.
Means how to identify project and product. Means like product is simple, but then what will be the scope of that
Sir,
particular?
sir, can I tell something just
Yes,
about
yes, of course you can, you can.
Sir, now Kalpana, you are maintaining a restaurant.
Yes.
Okay, you are a great chef in Maharashtra.
Mm-hmm.
Your restaurant is well known for biryani.
Hmm.
Very delicious biryani. You used to prepare very delicious biryani.
Hmm.
Biryani quality is so tasty, and used to give some what kind of masala, lot of things used to sorry, that your biryani having some style, some characteristics, some taste different from others.
Mm-hmm.
These are all whatever characteristics your biryani is having. These are all, for me, it is a product of scope.
Scope
Okay.
of product. Okay.
Scope of product. Matlab, whatever biryani you are providing to me,
Okay.
that biryani having some qualities, some characteristics.
Yeah. Yeah. Understood. Understood.
In my, as I am your customer, I am visiting your restaurant. For
Mhm.
me, whatever qualities, whatever characteristics your biryani is having, these are all my product scope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to
Hmm.
give, to get those characteristics, to build those characteristics in your biryani, whatever endeavor, whatever efforts you are putting,
Hmm.
whatever masala you are using, you used to use different kind of things to get the biryani, to get those kind of characteristics, that unique, something uniqueness, right?
Hmm.
In your perspective view, whatever things you are doing, whatever efforts you are putting, that is scope of project.
Okay.
Understood? Am I correct, sir?
Yes.
Now,
Kalpana,
did
now
you get
understandable?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, actually it is late night and you
Sunday
know,
also, no, sir?
yes, it is also
My
Sunday
daughter
and
is
it is
crying outside,
late
just she wants to
night.
tell.
And Ravi, you have given means the
Yeah.
example of biryani. I'm I'm sending my address. I need a parcel from
Definitely,
you.
sir. My wife is a great chef, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, I could have put myself in the place of Kalpana in the example. I mean.
Okay, okay. No, I want to involve Kalpana because then only she can understand.
You are most welcome.
Okay, now comes to the estimating.
Hmm.
Okay, so if you need to plan, then we need to develop estimate for resources, because whatever you want to do, you need resources. So
Right.
in order to purchase those resources, you need to create estimate how
Hmm.
much resources you are in need. So estimates are quantitative assessment of a variable like project cost. It could be resources, it could be effort, right? It could be the duration of the project, everything. So in time of project's evolution, estimates can get changed based on the circumstance. That means you are planning prior to the startup of the project about everything. Now, you can't be so sure that this much of thing is required for completion of the project, right?
Hmm.
So it gets developed as you keep on your work on the project work.
Hmm.
Yes. Do you cook?
Sorry.
आप cooking करते हो?
Yes, I do.
Okay. नमक कैसे डालते हो आप? पहले ही क्या नमक डाल देते हो इतना सारा? नहीं डालते हो ना?
No. After looking at the portion of that.
Right? Then you taste.
Yeah.
टेस्ट करते हो आप, ओके कम हो गया, थोड़ा ज्यादा डाल देते हो. That means you are estimating, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the estimate what you are preparing before doing something may not be correct, may not be exact.
Mhm.
But how we can get the exactness? When we keep on cooking, then only we can understand the exactness, right? So in project also, when you are going for any estimation, the things remain same. Now, what all are the things based on which we need to understand this estimating? First of all, the range.
Hmm.
Okay. So estimate tends to have large range before starting any project because much information about the project is not available at the time. When you are starting the project, do you think that every information you will be having with you? Of course not, because the project has not been started yet. So as the project gets evolved, then you will be understanding the range because everything is going to get filtered and you'll be getting actual information, right?
Hmm.
Then comes accuracy. So what I have told, what is accuracy?
Accuracy, it is
Accuracy is the
assessment of correctness.
Yes, assessment of correctness, right? So an estimate when in the start of the project has lower accuracy as the information of the resource are not well defined. That means accuracy of that estimate is not valid because prior to the starting of the project, you can understand that you don't have information. It is not correct, right? No accuracy is there, means correctness is not there. Precision, when you make an estimate in short range, then precision is so close to the accurate. But when the range is precision is so long, then accuracy must be compromised. That means, can you remember that I have told that when you make an estimate in smaller chunk and
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
your voice is fluctuating.
you can understand everything and it would be so precise. You can do the things in precise.
We didn't
Sir,
heard
could
you.
you please come again? There is some buffer in your voice.
Okay, is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you remember that when we started session, I have told you some sort of things like you can, if you are having large project, you can divide it into smaller chunks and you can take
Yes.
one part of it and you can complete that thing. After that, you can take a part of this and complete the thing like sprints.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So why sprints are so much valuable? Because when you have a large project, you can divide that project into smaller pieces and you can take one piece and you can complete that thing so that you can have precision over there. That means what? Assessment of exactness,
Exactness.
right? So exactness would be there. But if you, but think of a thing like you are onto a big project, by not dividing everything. Do you think that you will get the decision over there? Of course not. Something may get, missed out by you. Are you understanding?
No.
Yes, sir. If it is a long one, then there will be a problem with the precision and accuracy, right, sir?
Yes.
So,
Okay, Kalpana, what do you think? What is precision? It is exactness of
Exactness of accuracy.
accuracy, right?
Correctness. Yeah.
Correctness.
Yeah.
So how can you achieve that thing?
Means like whatever we are doing, it should be exact what is
Yes,
required.
but how to do that?
Once the accuracy is in place.
How you can achieve that?
uh, sir, can we take it in a sense? Of small
Yes.
example.
Yes.
Like if I am holding a rifle, a shotgun in my hand, if my target is so near to me, I can exact center. I can in bull eye. I can shoot. If it is the same target is far away from me,
Mhm.
my accuracy or precision it changes.
Mhm.
So
Correct.
if the length is increasing, then that accuracy and precision they are going to affect. If they
Yes.
are shorter, or if they're shorter, then I can aim properly and I can fire it.
Yes. Kalpana, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
It is that yes or what yes?
No, no, it is yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Then comes confidence. So we know that confidence increases with experience. So when you have experience in previous project, then you can easily have the confidence. Like our mother has before, while cooking, she doesn't need any advice. She will take amount of mirch and masala and namak. He will put in the sabzi. It will be tasty
Yes.
because she is doing the same thing by day. So she is having great experience of cooking. So in project also, when you are doing the budget, if you are having experience doing the same thing, then you can have your accuracy and precision in the budget.
Yes.
Okay.
But then, so for initial stage, suppose
Mhm.
someone is doing a first project, then how can this will be achieved? He needs to be assist someone then only, or someone need to supervise him then only.
See, one person is not going to do the job, right?
Right, right.
There are supporting people out there who is going to support you, make you understand, help you out.
Obviously, for any work, we need a team. Individual can.
That is why in project teamwork is required.
Yes,
Something may miss from my end, but it can't be missed from your end.
yes.
We use so much softwares. Okay, so can anybody tell me what do you mean by osmotic communication?
I don't know anything about this.
Huh?
I don't know osmotic.
No idea, sir.
No idea. Okay. See, osmotic communication means when there is some discussion going on in a cubicle, 4 or 5 people are in the room, but there are only few people, 1 or 2 people or 3 people who are engaging themselves in the communication. They're taking part in the communication. Others are just doing their work. What happens? Suppose you have faced any kind of problem. At that point of time, you need solution. So what we do, we discuss. We discuss in the office room. People may arrive. People may think, okay, the discussion is going on. If that people think that okay, I have my understanding on this, so that at that point of time, the person can join your discussion and give a resolution of that, probable resolution of that. Others can do whatever they are doing if they don't have any kind of understanding of this. So this kind of communication often takes place inside the cubicle, and that particular thing is known to us as osmotic communication. Okay. Before sharing any kind of information, we need to understand that what the information is and why, for whom the information has been meant. That means there are several types of stakeholders, right? Internal stakeholders, internal stakeholder, external stakeholder. Based on the internal or external stakeholders, there are many stakeholders which are based on their priorities, right? So when we have focused on the stakeholders management, we have seen so many types of stakeholders mapping, right? So we can map them according to their power, according to their influence, right? So before proceeding with some sort of communication, we must understand that who needs the information We can't we can't send every information to everyone, right? So we need to understand who needs this information. Then we need to understand what information does each stakeholder is in need. Only that communication or information we are going to send them. Why should information be shared with the stakeholders? You are actually thinking about the relevance. That means if all the information is not required, not necessary to understandable by all the stakeholders, no need to share all the information, all the data. Only required data need to be shared with the stakeholders who are in need. What is the best way to provide information? So you need to understand whether you need to call that person, you need to email that person, you need to mail that person, or you can use some IMs or what. The feasible thing you can use. When and how often is information needed? This is one of the important question over here. So who can tell me or who can give me some overview on this thing? When and how often is information needed? You need critical thinking for this. So think and tell me. I need the answer from both of you.
Hmm? Hmm?
Yes, Kalpana?
From whom you want this answer?
When and how often is information needed? I want this from both of you. Dheeraj is not able to speak because of his audio issue.
When and how often is information needed during project phases, when the phases one phase is over, the next phase, before going to the next phase, we need to inform all the stakeholders. So and so is already completed. Next, we are going to start next phase. Is it in the same in the sense?
Throughout the project work,
Yeah, through the project work in between.
from starting to ending,
Ending
throughout
in
the
between,
project
we
work.
need to and that whenever the phase changeover, during phase changeover and all, we need to pass the information. So we have achieved this much percentage for target. Now we are left with this much, and during this we have achieved this much, we have progressed this much, and these are the places where we have got some failures, and we have rectified this like this, and some way likewise whatever information we have passed. So throughout the project, each phase wise, we have to convey the message, information.
Okay, Kalpana.
So, according to me, first it is depend who is asking the information. So accordingly, I will share if he is asking the for the information, then I will think means whether to give it or not, and how much to give it, whether it is a critical things to be shared or not, then only. And if it is, then on the official things only I can update them, and whatever is pertaining to their knowledge, means like whatever it needs to be shared with that particular team or person, that information only I am going to share with them through officially, means like a communication mode, like mailing or something like that, not over means it should be documented, I mean to say.
Okay. Now think in a logical way.
Mhm.
How many types of stakeholders do we have?
Internal and external.
Right. Now, do you think that all the people, all the stakeholders are in need of the same report where the cadence would be same? We have understood about cadence, right? So do you think the cadence would be same? Means the frequency would be the same?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Now, who need frequent updates and who need periodical updates?
See, frequent update will be means like the immediate supervisor of mine. He needs the
Mhm.
frequent update, means whatever is going on in the project. And periodical update means like if they have some concern about that particular stage or particular that product, then they can be updated periodically. हाँ अभी ये हो रहा है, अभी ये हो जाएगा, like that it is, according to me.
That means actually the internal stakeholders, basically the development team, is in need of very frequent updates because they are developing the product and they need the update because people are working in agile movement, right? So they are dependable upon each of them. If one person is completing its his or her job, then the other person can take that job and can go to the next uh, sprint. That is the reason they are in need of frequent updates. Apart from that, if you focus on the senior level, they don't require the reports frequently.
Yes.
So after a interval, they can have the information about the project status. Apart from that, if you talk for the external stakeholders, then if we talk about the customers, means the client itself. Okay, so the client is not going to need that information every now and then or frequently. After a period, they are going to get the updates, and that update would be given by the project manager himself or herself. Okay.
I believe, sir, if supervisor or the senior management,
Hmm.
now it is a trend that we need to send a daily report, end of the day reports to the senior management or looping
Yes,
the
yes. So you
hierarchy.
are sending end of the day report,
Right.
but the developers are having real time report.
Yes. No, so we will be taking from them only, right? Because in
Yes,
a project, there will be a multiple department working into that.
yes. They are having some softwares through this. You can track their work. That is what getting reflected in some sort of big displays. What is the status of the report? We can directly prepare the Gantt chart, which is going to tell us that how much time is left, the elapsed time, and how much work is outstanding. So you can understand that how fast
Hmm.
we need to keep the pace to complete the work within the given time bound. So
Also,
everyone,
team, there is
yes,
also a weekly meet is there. Brainstorming sessions are there. Means many ways are there to convey the things, means to take the
yes,
update.
because if you are using agile, if you are using sprints, then you need to go for daily sprints or daily kickoff meetings for 15 to 20 minutes in order to understand if any person is facing any kind of issue. Because if one person is facing issue, then it may possible that other person also may face the same issue because they are dependable, right? So these are some sort of kind, and you can understand when and how often information is needed.
So there, I have seen means like in a suppose in one company there are some different departments.
Mhm.
So once suppose my work of initiation of the project is done, then it will go for a quality check. So
Mhm.
there is a firewall between both of the team that immediate the executive cannot share information to me if anything
Mhm.
is needs to be done in that project. So he inform his line manager. That line manager informs my line manager. It is
Mhm.
like that. Means immediate information is not shared to everyone.
It depends upon the organization how they have prepared their understanding and reporting system. We have understood some kind of organizational structure, right? So
Yeah,
based
even
on the organizational structure and governance system, they use this kind of data.
with dealing with the external stakeholders, if I'm into a business development team or if I'm into analytical team, so I'll be sharing information pertaining to those department only.
Mm.
I cannot share the analytical concern with them. An analytical team cannot share a business development like a fees or something, collections or something, those informations. So there are some barrier between all the teams.
It is not barrier, it is the organizational governance structure,
Governance.
the policies,
Yes.
right? Now the last question is who has the information needed. So you can understand that before sending any kind of communication, you must need to understand that who is the person, what is the authority of the person who is asking for the information.
Yes.
Physical resources. So physical resources means where there is no person is in consideration. apart from human resource, whatever resource you are having, like machinery, equipment, and all, is coming under this physical resources. So planning for physical resources, including taking into account lead time for delivery, moment, storage, and disposition of material would be there. Then comes procurement. So procurement can happen at any time during the project. So you need to get ready for that. You need to prepare some upfront planning, and you need to uh, have that understanding of make or buy analysis. So make or buy analysis is understandable to you. It's known to you, Kalpana.
Yes, I said yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ravi.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Make or buy.
Dheeraj. Dheeraj, you can send it in chat. Don't worry. Okay. Dheeraj, if you are there, you can send it in chat. Okay, Ravi, can you give some light into it? Buy or make decision?
Make or buy analysis means whatever things or equipment that is required for your for our project. If we could make it of our own, okay, we'll make it. Otherwise, if we can't make it, then we have to buy from the outside the market. According, we have to make the analysis. Okay, how much for if we are making, how much it cost, how much money we have to spend. If they are buying from the outside, how much we are spending. If it is, which is economically better, everything we have to make some analysis, right, sir?
Right. So we need to understand if we are investing something in getting some sort of resources, then my investment is justified or not. If it is justified, then we can buy the product from the outer source. But if you think no, there are some problem we are facing, like in terms of getting the raw materials, processing those raw materials, and getting the exact thing what we are in need, or there is some problem to take or get the resources using the logistics department. So if you think like okay, it is not feasible to make it, to buy it, uh, then you can go for having that thing, means making that thing, preparing that thing in your place, or buying from the separate place. Changes. So changes can be requested by the stakeholders throughout the project. Therefore, the project team should prepare a process for adapting plans throughout the project area. So this should be done through change control process. Now, who can tell me how to make changes in the scope? What is the procedure to make the changes in the scope from the perspective of a project manager? Whether it is from the external stakeholder or the internal stakeholder.
You have to take approvals before making any changes.
I have discussed this thing, so you can tell me the exact way, exact steps.
If you are going approaches methods, then in waterfall, the scope, everything is fixed, sir. In Agile, there is a
No, I'm
change the
not.
scope and all.
I'm not talking
Just
about the development approaches. I'm just telling you that from the perspective of a project manager, what steps or what all other things you need to do in order to make any changes in the project scope, which has been asked by whether the internal stakeholders or the external stakeholders. How would you process that? That is my question.
if we want to change the scope, then we need to have prior approval for the again, and accordingly we need to make all the analysis. We need to make all the analysis, the budget, what the resource, what it will be, how it is affecting the ongoing process. That everything we have to make.
See, the thing is like we are having two types of stakeholder. One is the internal stakeholder, one the external stakeholder. Now, throughout the project, we may get the change request maximum from the external stakeholder. That's the client side, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, the project manager don't hold that authority if any kind of external stakeholder is asking for any kind of change. Project manager can't do that. What that person need to do, if that person is able to understand what that person is trying to say, then it's okay. But if not, then he need to seek for an external person who can be acting as a SME,
SME, subject matter
and
expert.
yes, and he or she can help the project manager to understand what the person is trying to say. So it is going to reflect some document, like you need to document the thing and you need to take that thing to the PMO, that is project management office, right? So in project management office, in directive PMO, there is a place which is known as CCB, means change control board.
Sir,
So you need to put that
sir, please come again. What is CCB, sir?
change control board.
Okay.
Okay. So you need to submit your papers which are in need, like the project scope management plan, project charter, project management plan, budget, and all, along with the change which has been required to the CCB, change control board. Now,
Sir,
if the
sir,
change, yes,
sir, sorry, sir, sorry to disturb you. This CCB,
no,
it is an external organization, sir.
no, it is internal.
Internal of that particular organization.
It is under the PMO, the directive PMO. It is under directive PMO. It is a department in directive PMO.
Okay.
Can you remember that we have done with the PMO, the project management office?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. There are three types of PMO. One is supportive, one is controlling, and one is directive.
Directive. Yes, sir.
So yes, so directive is the ultimate authority holder. So within this directive PMO, we
Understood,
have
sir.
change control board. So you need to submit all the required documents in the change control board so that you can have that opportunity to get the change request approval.
Okay, sir.
So this is the entire way how to make changes. Now, if you are making changes in the scope, what all other things are getting affected? Can Kalpana tell me?
Sorry, I didn't understand. I was thinking, I was having a doubt.
Which doubt?
In CCP,
Hmm.
are these methodology are same up at par the all the organization, because as you said, every organization runs according to their structure. So
CCB must be there. It is a it is a important and most required division of a PMO, means under the directive PMO. It's a department of the directive PMO.
maybe term of their designation or the team or everything, it may be differ, because I've never heard this term CCB.
CCB you can get in everywhere wherever project is running, and every project manager is well aware, pretty aware of this term, because every now and then they need to run in the department whenever any kind of changes are in the requirement from the stakeholders end. Maybe you have not heard about this thing, but it does exist. Okay, so my question to Kalpana is, if I'm making change in the scope, what all other things we are getting affected for this? Those things are also getting changed. What are those?
Raw materials?
Better to say resource?
No.
No,
Yeah, could be resource.
could be no. Whenever you are telling about raw material, these are the resources, right? So resources are going to get changed. Okay, then
Then equipments.
that comes under resources, physical resources. Try to think from the perspective of a project manager, not like a you know a general person. right? Then only you will be able to find the answer. Else you won't find the answer. Understand your responsibility as a project manager. Ravi, can you? Ravi, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So can you tell us?
Sir, if I am the project manager, if I change suddenly management asks me to change the scope, then whatever I planned for the week or schedule, whatever schedules are there, the schedules may disturb. If the
Exactly.
schedules next if schedules disturb, then final outdate, whatever delivery date, time, whatever that time will be disturbed.
Normally the schedule is getting disturbed, right? It is
Schedule,
getting changed.
yeah, schedule disturbed. And if they are asking me to compressor or something, if anything I'm doing that, it may impact the quality or outcome, whatever product I'm making, it may impact its quality also sometimes.
Yes.
Uh, and budget may.
Yes. So whenever we are making any kind of change in the scope, there are some sort of things which are heavily influenced and are getting changed. Yes, Dheeraj, you are right. So first of all, what is getting changed? The documents are getting changed. The project charter is getting changed. The project management plan is getting changed. The project scope statement is getting changed. Then budget is getting changed. Schedule is getting changed. Risk is getting changed. Cost is getting changed. Right? So these all are the things which are directly getting affected if we make any kind of slight change in the project scope. Kalpana, understood?
Yes, sir.
Kalpana?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
I understood.
This one understood or that one understood?
Whatever you explained right now, even Dheeraj, I understood that. Means when
Okay.
he makes any changes, the schedule,
Suppose,
cost, time, and
suppose you have planned to go for a movie with your
yes.
friends. The movie is from 4 p.m. So you have planned that, okay, I will directly go from the office. Now, the distance you need to travel is half an hour. You need to take a bus. So you need to get from your office, get out from your office from 3:30 p.m. Your friend has told you, okay, I will manage the ticket and popcorn. You just come. We will watch the movies together or all together. Now you have completed your job and you are about to step out of the office. Suddenly your boss comes and tells, okay, Kalpana, actually I was thinking that you have prepared the report. It was very good. It has provided so many insight to the client. So the client is now asking for another kind of report. Could you please make it for us? So do you think that you can make yourself out of the office within 3:30 and travel 30 minutes and can get into the cinema theater within 4 p.m.?
No.
So everything is getting affected, right? Because there are changes in the scope of your work.
Understood.
At that point of time, your scope was to get a vehicle, getting out of the office and getting a vehicle so that you can reach the cinema. But now the scope has already been changed. What is affecting your time is getting affected. Your schedule is getting affected. Even if you have registered for a car, if you have requested for a car in Ola or Uber, you need to cancel that and you need to pay 50 rupees as a cancellation charges. And your friends are going to abuse you very much. Now you can understand what are the things which are getting changed just because of a slight change of your scope. That is what I was telling. And if the change is requested by the internal stakeholders like the developer, the supervisors, the manager, then they are not going to tell the project manager directly that I have seen that thing and you can make the change in the scope. So it would be better result for us. They are not going to do that. For internal stakeholder, it would be like hypothetical situation. They can tell you that, sir, actually I was going for development and I found that these points are there. Now, if we are able to make any kind of changes in the project scope, then in terms of deliverables, we may get better result. You can have a check on this, sir. So see, a hypothetical situation, we may get, right? You can check like these all things. But the procedure would be the same. You need to prepare a document and need to provide it to the CCB in order to get the permission. Okay. Now comes matrix. So there is linkage among planning, delivering, and measuring work. So this linkage is known as matrix. So establishing matrix means setting a deadline which will indicate the work performance trend. So as a part of planning, the matrix baseline and thresholds for performance are established. Metrics are nothing but it is like measuring everything, like kilometers, like millimeters, like liters, all those things are metrics. This is also a metric through which you can track the progress. Okay. And lastly, we have alignment. You need to plan in such a way that planning activities and artifacts need to remain integrated throughout the project. So this means that planning for the performance in terms of scope and quality requirement aligns with delivery commitments. So large projects may combine the planning artifacts into an integrated project management plan. For smaller project time, frequency and degree of planning need to remain aligned and integrated. That is what alignment is. Now, these are the connections. Every domain is, as I have told already, that every domain is interrelated and interconnected with each other, right? So from this picture, you can see that this planning performance domain is connected with every domain, the stakeholders performance domain, team performance domain, development performance domain, means development approach performance domain, project work performance domain, delivery performance domain, measuring performance domain, and uncertainty performance domain. So in every stage of the project, planning is required. That is why this particular performance domain is interacting with each and every performance domain.
Sir, just a small request.
Yes.
Could you go back? Could you please go back to metrics? Actually, I lost internet connection. I'm missing what you told. Yeah, metrics. Yeah, this one.
See, metrics is nothing but while planning, you also need to track, right? That is what it is, nothing else. How you are actually doing the job based on your plan, whether you are doing the job beyond your planned timing or within your planned time. So in order to understand that thing, you need to have some measurement. So what kind of matrix you are going to use, you must choose those. If it's a construction project, then you can check the matrix, like how many kilometers you have prepared the road, if it's a road construction project. If it's a software project, then how much you have prepared. So this is what matrix is. So we have came to understand planning performance domain, where we have planning variables, we have project team composition and structure, we have communication, physical resources, procurement, changes, matrix, alignment. Leave this thing. Okay. So when we are planning for the variables, there are 4 ways. One is delivery, one is estimation, one is schedule, one is budget. Under estimation, we can do estimation 4 ways: by getting the range, by getting the accuracy, by getting the precision, by having the experience and confidence. Then comes project team composition and structure. We know there are three types of approach what we can see, what we can have. One is predictive, one is adaptive, one is the hybrid one. That's it. You can take a screenshot of this. It's very simple one.
Is it visible?
100%. See, these are the modules which is completely based on PMI prep course. Okay. It is the combination of three books: PMBOK 6th edition, PMBOK 7th edition, Agile Practice Guide. Now we are going through the valid points. Actually, whatever I am showing you is based on PMBOK 6th and 7th edition. So after completion of these things, this course, you can focus on three books first. One is PMBOK 6th edition. I believe I have shared with you.
6, 7 and Rita Mulke 6.
Yes. So you can go to, you can learn, you can give reading to a PMBOK 6th edition, then PMBOK 7th edition, then Agile Practice Guide, three books.
Yes.
After you read these three books, you can practice these PPTs, close the project phase, project management professional, all those things, all those modules, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then only you will be able to understand what it is.
Okay. So where are the PMBOK 6 and 7? Where
Okay, now scroll down. Now scroll down on the right hand side. Not that one, the second one. Slowly, slowly, slowly. That book. That book is PMBOK 7th edition.
This one?
This one. You can tap on the download button beside the print. Yes. You can download it and save it in your system. This one. This is Rita Mulke 10th edition. What you need to read after completion of the reading of PMBOK 6, 7th and Agile Practice Guide. It is completely based upon the question and answer patterns. Now, if you try to understand this book right now, you won't be able to understand. It's a bit tricky. So it is advisable after you complete these 2 or 3 books, then only focus on this PMP exam prep guide, 10th edition.
Me to read. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
You told me to go for Rita Mulke 6th edition.
No, 10th edition.
10th edition. Where is it? 6th edition.
6th edition I have shared. You have in your downloads. See, you check your downloads. Press Control and J at the same time. Press the control button of your computer and then press J.
Control and J. Yeah, it is the 6th edition.
Yes. Save those books. Okay. Can you see the screen? Right. So this is a okay. This is product life cycle.
Okay.
Okay. So you can see certain thing over here. That is this place. In this section, what is happening? The product is just getting introduced in the market. So people knows very little about the product. People didn't use the product and they are trying to buy the product, means the company is trying to sell the product and they are trying to buy the product. Okay. So in this point of time, the sales are not huge. Okay, they are just expected to get sold very little amount in the market. So that is known to us as introduction phase. Clear this thing?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But for project, these stages are different.
No, yes, this is I'm talking about product.
Product. Okay.
Okay. See, whenever I'm creating a product, okay,
Hmm.
I'm doing what? I'm creating its options, I'm creating its everything.
Yes.
So those things, the endeavor I'm putting to create that particular option or something like this is project. Okay. So when we are doing a project, there are several phases how we do that thing. And if we are doing a creating a product, then again we have certain stages which we need to understand. So we place product where? We place product in the market, right?
Yes.
What is the purpose? To make sale,
Sales.
right? So do you think that whenever you come up with a new product, it will give you a high range of sale?
No.
Absolutely not. Because right at that point of time, you have just introduced that product in the market. People don't know about the market. People don't know the reviews of the product, how it is working. Okay.
Hmm.
That is the reason very little amount of that product gets sold. So this thing is known to us as introduction phase. Now here
Yes.
you can see one thing, that it is the sale is getting upgradation over here. Okay.
Hmm.
That means it is known to us as growth stage. That means the product which you have introduced in the market now is having good amount of sales.
Hmm.
Okay. Now it is increasing day by day, and you can expect good amount of, means amount of revenue.
Popularity. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. This phase you can see that there is a continuous sales process. That means now people are pretty aware of the product, and they are referring the product, they are using the product, they're enjoying the product, and thus the company, the brand, the organization is making profit. Now in introduction stage, you need to spend more in marketing, and you get lesser ROI, return on investment, because you are trying to make people understand about the product. You are putting a lot of efforts, you are putting a lot of money, but you are not getting return.
Hmm.
In growth stage, you can understand that you are putting the money, and again you have started getting the revenue. But at this point of time,
Hmm.
a product usually goes through transformation, because people start using the product and they gets bug. So at that point of time, company does what? They test their product, and they focus on more projects to create that product bug free. Means debugging is going on in this
Yes.
growth stage. But when it is maturity stage, it is a perfect product. People don't find any bugs into it, and they enjoy using it. But afterwards, you can see a downfall. Why? Because new technology arrives, and other company or the same company comes up with a new product which is having the same system like this introduction. So as new product is having good options in built within it, so people try to go for that product, because people always willing to get the updated one, right? And people lost their faith on the old product. That is the reason this segment is known to us as decline phase, where people don't buy any kind of product, or they stops referring the product. That is what this entire life cycle is known to us as product life cycle. Now is it clear?
This case, yeah, it is clear. But then in this case, the how the prior company will exist in the market. So they have to adapt some new thing to be to
Yes.
sustain in the market.
Yes, that is the reason they changes themselves, they come up with new models. Suppose you are using a smartphone, okay, so
Hmm.
previously 5 years back Samsung came with a smartphone, but right
Hmm.
now do you think Samsung is doing its business with the same model?
No.
Absolutely not. Because if they stuck with their old product, then new product from new companies will have better market scenario, better market grip. So Samsung itself will lose the market. So in order to grasp that thing, Samsung did what?
They
They
come up with
came up with
upgraded.
new,
Yeah.
yes, upgraded one, and those upgraded were taking place in the market. and the old product gets discontinued because people are not willing to buy it. Those uh, previous models were facing decline stages, but the new models, right at that point of time, they were in their introduction phase.
So can you answer to one question where I got
Mhm.
incorrect answer?
Mhm.
And an established product which is
Mhm.
bringing in revenue is a
Mhm.
comment about which stage of product life cycle: decline, introduction, maturity, or growth.
Maturity. It is already
Please
giving you
explain.
the ROI. It is already giving
Yes,
you the ROI, right? And
right.
company has introduced that product something 1 year back. Now, after 1 year, the company has collected so many reviews on the product,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
they have sharpened that thing, and they have you know they have worked on the problems they faced actually on that particular product, and they made it perfect,
Hmm.
right? And that is the reason the product is having grip in the market. Okay, let me give an example. You know Toyota Innova, right? It's a good car.
Yes, yes,
So have you seen the previous model of Toyota Innova?
yes, I have.
Okay. Now at that point of time, Toyota Innova looks something different.
The
Okay,
recent one,
no, the previous model.
previous model, yeah.
Yes, like it looks something different. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it's 2005, 2016, and 2022, right? So you can see the change. So this model is an old one from 2005. This model, a modified one, came in 2016, and this is a recent model which is known to us as Innova Krista. So can you see some differences among these three,
Yes, sir.
Very much models,
right?
shape, yeah.
Right. So now company face so much problems while release one product in the market, right? It needs so much investment, it needs so much manpower to make something or convert something into a brand, right? So if you focus on the 2005 model, at that point of time they have introduced the product in the market. Okay, Toyota came in the market and they have introduced the product Toyota Innova. So people loved that car, but the car was having some issues. What issues? The boot space was good, the engine was also good. The problem was basically the ground clearance. Okay, so that's the reason they come up with some solution. You can see the 2016 model. See the ground clearance. The major turnaround is the ground clearance, and there is some sort of changes. You can have a look on it. The middle one. They will have some sort of aerodynamic changes. Now it is more sharpened, and it looks very good. And the pickup is also good at that point of time because there was some changes in aerodynamics and also in engine. So already when they face the growth phase, in order to continue its market, they started changing the thing so that people don't get bored. Suppose you are an owner of Toyota Innova. Now in the year 2005 you bought the car, you love the car so much, but right now you are uh, thinking, okay, so I drove the car for so many years, so let's do one thing, इसको बेच के मैं कोई और कार खरीद लेता हूँ. But the company is saying, why not the Innova again? ये आपको कभी धोखा नहीं दिया, it is a good car. So the person is telling, वही तो same car है, there is no change. There is a reason they came up with the 2016 model with some norms, and after that in 2022 you can see it is completely changed. This is what product life cycle is, right? And you can see the 2022 model, it is still in its maturity level, it is not declined. So now what we have seen, there are phases in product life cycle, right? So this could be the one phase, this could be the one phase, and this could be the one phase. Okay. Now, what is the longest phase do you think we have in product life cycle?
Maturity, sir.
Absolutely right. Maturity level, maturity stage. Now, here, where you can show me the project is going on.
Going on
Yes, a
Initiation,
project is going on.
growth,
maturity, handover, deliver.
Okay. So can anyone show me where you can see the project is going on?
going on in the sense what? It's like,
I'm not getting your voice clearly, Kalpana. Could you please adjust your microphone?
yeah. It's a growth phase.
It's a growth phase. Okay. Ravi.
Sir, I didn't understand your question, sir, actually.
So I have shared the product life cycle here, right? The 4
Okay.
phases of the product life cycle.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
can you point out where we can see projects?
Projects,
Hmm.
we are in initial stage, na, sir?
Throughout this
This is
life
a
cycle.
product life cycle, na, sir?
This is a product life cycle. So I am telling you to point out the projects lying within this. So do you find any
Project, it
place
will
where
be
you can see the product?
initiation stage, sir. Project.
Okay, you can also use annotation. It's okay. We can also use the board. Okay, you can
Yeah.
point it out if you think that here projects has taken a place.
The project have taken a place now. That means, according to our, you are asking in classes.
Means I am telling you that this is a product life cycle, right? So within this product life cycle, where we can find projects.
Projects.
Hmm.
This can be an entire project, start and end.
Okay, how?
Initially, it is there. Initiation
Initially, yeah, go Ravi.
and initial and growth. These are the 2 stages or projects will work, because it is temporary. It is having a unique starting and ending date.
It is not a project. From initiation to decline, it is not a project
Yeah, it is
because you don't
life
know
cycle.
the exact. You don't know
So
exact
when it
date
is
of
going to be like, yeah,
you know.
understood. Right.
Pooja, are you there? Pooja, Pooja, are you facing any problem in your voice? Means in audio? Then you can text me. It's okay. Okay, so Ravi and Kalpana, what do you think? Where we can show projects?
Initiation and growth, sir.
How? You must put some logic.
Yes, initiation will be a start date to a project because when we define something that we want to create or we want to run a project, the initiation will be the first phase, and the outcome will be the growth. Till it achieve the growth, we can place it in a means like we are satisfied with the market, what we want. It could be an end date till the growth of that product project.
Okay. Ravi?
I will go with, as I told you earlier, initiation and growth only, sir, because I have started some project. In growth, I can see how my project outcome is developing.
Okay. So I think project and product is not clear to you. Let's clear this thing. Okay. So now let me talk about the project. Project
Product,
life cycle.
I understood, sir, but I am unable to compare project with these 4 cycles,
Okay.
frankly speaking.
Okay. So what are the stages of project life cycles?
Initiation,
Then
followed by
First is requirement design, development, integration, testing, and deployment. Is that correct?
I think agile requirements, I think.
Yes,
Those are-
normally we can say that first of all, initiation would be there. We need to initiate the project, then we need to plan the project, right? Then
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Execution,
execution, then
test, monitoring, and testing.
monitoring and controlling,
Yes.
and lastly, closure.
Yes.
Okay. So this is known to us as the project life cycle.
Yes, sir.
Can you place this in the product life cycle wherever you want?
Initiation and planning will
Initiation-
come in initiations. Go on, Kalpana.
Yeah, no, Ravi, please go. I think
Initiation-
initiation and planning will come in first. Then growth will be the execution, monitoring and controlling will be the maturity, and decline will be the closure. Ravi, you can carry on.
Yeah, just I'm agree with you.
Okay.
Okay. So Santosh is also with us. Santosh, am I audible to you? Santosh, am I audible to you, Santosh?
Yes, sir, you are. Am I audible now? Oh,
Yes, you
okay,
are
yeah.
audible now. Okay.
Yes, I'm
So
so sorry.
No, it's okay. I was telling that this is a product life cycle, right? Initiation, growth, maturity, and decline. There are 4 stages of product life cycle. Now, here I have written the project life cycle, that is initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, controlling, and closure. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh my God, what happened? Right? What is happening? Okay. Sorry for the spelling. So, what do you think throughout this product life cycle where we can have project life cycles?
I'm sorry, sir, where we can have.
Project life cycle within this product life cycle.
Okay, monitoring and controlling.
Okay. Other than that,
Execution again, yeah. Execution also.
execution also. Okay.
So, I mean, if I'm not wrong, if I've got the question right, and I mean, your question is during these project life cycle. Okay, so which methodology we're going to choose in terms of?
No, the thing is like, my question to you all is that this
Yes.
on the first section, I have showed you the product life cycle, right? So we are pretty aware that product life cycle are having 4 stages. One is maturity, one is growth, sorry, one is introduction, one is growth, one is maturity, and one is decline.
Mhm.
And also we know there are project life cycles too. So there is initiation, then there is everything which I have written over here, right? So these are the that initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, closure. This is the project life cycle. This thing clear?
Yes, yes.
Now my question to you all is, in which product life cycle phase we can have project life cycle?
Can I tell something, sir?
Yes.
Sir, what I feel is initiation, planning, and execution. All the 3 will comes under initiation phase, sir.
Okay.
Monitoring and controlling comes under growth stage,
Okay.
and in maturity, closure. What I feel.
Okay. What others feel?
But if product lifecycle decline means it is going in a negative way. So I don't think so. Project, I'm not comparing project with this decline.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
We
it
don't
is.
have to
I go
consider
with monitor.
decline as a closure. We just have to place the project life cycle in this map, right?
Yes.
How are we going to?
Yes.
So
So where
initiation
you
and
can put.
planning will be at the first stage. Then second stage will be the execution. Then third will be monitoring and control. Fourth closure.
What do you people think?
I think monitoring and controlling, I will stand by that.
Okay.
Is because initiation, I mean, all these category will fit in monitoring and controlling is because once an idea is, I mean, once we have a thought process and we have an idea, okay, that's called initiation. Okay, we plan something, okay, and we execute it. Okay, but
Okay.
under monitoring and controlling, I think we'll have to again initiate is because we'll understand where are we standing after executing. Okay, and we see what is the growth, analyze the growth, if it is on the upward trend or on the lower trend. Okay, and based on that analysis, we can implement certain things and see if we are going on the mature stage. Okay, again, after inventing certain things, it might be a good result. Okay, or it could be bad. Again, it could be a decline or a rise, upward or downward. Okay, again, it is a continuous process. So I think monitoring and controlling will suit the project lifecycle.
Okay. Okay. So John is with us. John, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. So John, this is the product life cycle. Okay. This initiation, growth, maturity, and decline phase. And this is the project life cycle. So my question to all of you is where we can put this project life cycle, in which phase of product life cycle we can put this project life cycle. So what do you think? Because we have covered this thing, what is project life cycle and what is product life cycle. So from that perspective, what is your opinion where we can put this project life cycle, in which phase of product life cycle? Use the project life cycle in any of the phase where we can use this.
So you can use it across all 4 phases here. As I see, initiation also is part of a product life cycle. Growth, maturity, and decline also.
How?
Like initiation also, you'll have to do all these activities like planning, execution, monitoring, controlling, closure. So all these phases might come into picture.
Okay. This is a well-known car. Right.
The evolutions basically.
Right. So are you people able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now you can see that when this particular model, car model, were introduced by Tata Group, at that point of time, people knew very little about this model, what is all about this model. But as the sale got started, they want to make this product something, means to reach some place where people will become well aware of the product and they will keep getting their ROI. So what they did, they started changing the design and working thing in the model. So first, in the left hand upper corner, you can see that was the first model of Safari. Then they came with Safari Dicor. Okay, the engine got changed, the design got changed. Then came Tata Safari Storm, where they put turbo engine. Okay, the engine power was lesser, but due to turbo engine, it was a high pickup car. But right now in 2023, you can see Tata Safari in some, it more or less look like Range Rover. Now, it got introduced, right? So here we can say that this model were introduced. This was growth. This was maturity. Still we are having this particular model in maturity stage. Now, can you understand what I'm trying to say? where we can have the project, we can put this life cycle phases. This life cycle phase everywhere, from initiation, growth, maturity, decline. So when the product is getting created and it is in the market, the company is taking the entire thing in the market. So they need to initiate a project. And the main scope of the project was to introduce the product in the market. After that, they received so many feedback regarding the product. And they thought that, okay, there are some bugs which I need to troubleshoot. So again, they initiated a project. In the maturity section, maturity phase, the company actually does one thing. The main objective of company is to have maximum time in this phase, to keep the product in this phase, because in this phase companies are investing lesser amount of money but getting higher amount of returns. So in order to make the product stable, they need to initiate another project. But when another project is overtaking this current project, this particular thing is getting decline phase. It is moving through decline phase, right? So at that point of time, what is happening? They again need to initiate a project where they can actually simply close the project in order to bring the new one. Now, is it understandable where we can put the project life cycle in the product?
Different product to product, right?
Sorry?
It may be different. It may vary from product to product.
No, why?
Because every product cannot be means like a modified or rectified as per the market requirement. Some
Moreover,
product should be.
Moreover, everything is getting rectified. Moreover, you can see the television, you can see the refrigerator, you can see car, you can see smartphone.
I guess even Toyota Corolla did evolve in the similar fashion.
Yes. Toyota Corolla, Honda, what's that? Honda CRV, Honda Accord, Honda City, right? One of the biggest,
Yeah.
most selling
also.
car, Honda City. You can see Honda City. That has also have gone through so many changes. This is the concept. That means if you are coming up with a product, suppose if you are trying to change the tail lamp, the design of tail lamp of any car, again you need to initiate a project where there would be initiation, there would be planning how to do the changes. They will plan for that thing, right? Then they will execute the work, they will do the job, they will perform the project work, they will monitor, they will test the product whether the product is working well as per our thinking or not. Then they are going to tell that, okay, we have done our job, let's close the project. And as a result, Honda Accord or Honda City has received a new tail light. Why this has been done? The product is already in the maturity phase. And why they are changing the tail light? Because they want to attract the customers. Already they have hit model and they want to get more return on investment on that particular product. So if they change the tail light or the design of the headlights, people will think, okay, there are changes in the car, so let's purchase that car. It's a fabulous car. Previously, the tail lights were not so good looking, but right now it is very much catchy and let's purchase. That means whenever you are coming up with a product which is having full of options, you are selling it in the market. At that point of time, you are getting 4 phases. But when you are creating that product's options, you are getting projects.
Even like Mahindra also, they change their symbol. So I guess they have more market because of their
Yes,
symbol.
Mahindra has changed their symbol. Okay, Tata has changed their symbol. Then there are lots of company who has Bajaj has changed their symbol in two-wheeler section. Right? Why they are doing that? Because they know what is going on. Because a company spends a lot of amount money in research and development, And after successful research and development, they usually comes with one particular model. After coming up with the model, the main challenge is to market that product. So they invest again a lot of money. They go for online activities, they go for offline activities, right? And they spend and spend and spend and spend. After that, when they thought, okay, the time has come where the cars are selling good, let's focus on this thing. That means they have understood that growth stage has already started with my product. People has recognized, sales are getting higher day by day. Now let's focus on this product. So they start focusing on their product. And after 1 year or 1.5 years or 2 years, they will face two things. Either that product will become hit in the market, or that product would be a gone thing. If that product is a gone thing, they will stop that product over there, and suddenly the decline stage will start with the product. And if that product is a hit product, definitely they are going to modify those product day by day, month on month. You can see Maruti Suzuki Swift, the hatchback model. On the previous stage, when it got introduced, the design was something different. But right now, the design is very much eye-catching because throughout these years, it has got the market and the car is in maturity stage, and they are doing the changes, making the changes so that the people who are willing to buy any kind of hatchback, they prefer Swift over other cars like i10, Honda, BRV, or something like this. That is the reason. And this is why, or this is how product life cycle we have, and we have project life cycle hidden behind all the product life cycle, entire thing. हम चावल पकाते हैं, चावल पका के हम लोग खाना खाते हैं, तो वो बन जाता है राइस. मतलब हम पैडी को उगाते हैं, राइस में कन्वर्ट करते हैं. So rice is the deliverable to us, but the process we follow to convert it from paddy to rice is the journey, and that is what project lifecycle is. All right. So now today we are going to learn something new. So which is another, we can say, which is another domain out of the 8. Okay, so this domain is known to us as project work performance domain. So the project work performance domain covers everything that's involved with ensuring projects can operate within the organization. This domain touches on the processes for running projects, resource management, creating culture of the project delivery within the organization by making sure that the project managers have the option to learn from each other and from their projects. So this domain actually addresses some sort of activities and functions which are associated with establishing project process, managing physical resources, and fostering a learning environment. Okay. Now, why we should focus on this performance domain? What outcomes we can get on this? First of all, we can get effective project performance. Second thing, we can get project process environment. We can get appropriate understanding of appropriate communication with stakeholders, right? We can have efficient management of physical resources. So these are the things what we can have. Now, can anybody tell me what do you understand by bidding document? Anyone? Bid document?
We put our price to acquire the tender. Bidding.
Okay. No, I am not talking about bidding. I'm talking about bid documents.
No.
Okay. So let's understand these terminologies which are very much essential for us. Okay. So the first one is known to us as bid documents. So all the documents which are used to solicit information, quotation, or proposals from prospective seller. Means whenever we are talking about bid documents, we can say, we can consider a quotation as a bid document. Okay, so you can keep your microphones switch on because you need to reply fast, and this is the thing where you need to understand so many things into deeper. Okay, so bid documents is understandable by all of you.
Yes, sir.
I just got only one reply.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so John, can you tell us what you mean by bid document or an example?
For example, any quotation which you receive from your supplier, basically you want to purchase
Yes,
something. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely right. Okay, now comes the second one, bidder conference. Bidder conference means the meeting. Suppose you are a supplier, you would like to supply raw materials, physical resources in any ongoing project. Now it is like you can't do that directly by having a one-on-one conversation with the project manager. You can't do that job. So bidder conference is the meeting with prospective sellers prior to the preparation of a bid or proposal to ensure all prospective vendors have a clear and common understanding of the procurement. Also known as contractor conferences, vendor conferences, or pre-bid conferences, means before that seller, okay, or contractor or vendor does anything, they need to understand the rules and regulations, the paperwork. They need to understand basically the paperwork, the clearance the organization is actually asking for. So when company and these bidder has this kind of conversation, that particular thing is known to us as bidder conference. It always happens before any supplier or vendor or contractor provides their quotation to the company, because prior sending the quotation they need to understand the documentation or anything else. Like if it's a government project, then all the contractors or the suppliers or the vendors need to have government licensing, means government authorized seller, government authorized vendor, or government authorized contractor. Then only they are able to provide the quotation. So this particular thing is known to us as bidder conference. The other name of bidder conference is contractor conferences, vendor conferences, or pre-bid conferences. So these terminologies are very much important because in the question, instead of bidder conference, you may have this kind of words, whether it could be contract conference, whether it could be vendor conference, or it could be pre-bid conferences. This thing clear to you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then comes the third thing, that is explicit knowledge. So explicit knowledge means what we do actually, or what we are doing right now. So explicit knowledge means the knowledge, the thing what we can codify. That means when we are using numbers, when we are using word, when we are using pictures, when we are using sentences, we can express ourselves. Like right, I am talking right now, I'm talking, I'm showing you a PPT. So this thing is known to us as explicit knowledge. But there is also tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge means whenever we used to give any kind of interview, the interviewer asks us one question, that how much experience do you have? Can you provide your insight on this? Now, do you think that experience and insights can be codified?
No.
We can say that I have 15 years of experience, I have 20 years of experience, but can we actually share our experience, the feeling, what exactly what I did? We can't. Insights, we may be a part of that particular work, but I can provide some of my thoughts as my insights. But do you think providing insights using codified language is possible? Of course not. Insight means what I have experienced, what I have understood, what I have felt at that point of time. Now, sharing your feeling in codified language is very hard and is not possible. When I passed graduation, when I got my first job, that feeling, that insight, that emotion is not possible to share with anyone, because the height of emotion, what I'm feeling right now or felt at that point of time, the other person may not feel. We can't say that I have 100 kilograms of emotion or 100 kilometer of emotion or 100 millimeter of emotion. There is nothing, no metrics are meant to measure these things, right? So that is what tacit knowledge is. Okay, so now these things are clear to all of you.
Yes, sir. Understood. Sir.
Okay, others, Santosh, John.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Pooja, are you there still, or I'm not getting any response from you? I don't understand whether you are there or not. Again, I'm telling, if you're facing any audio issues, you can text me, okay? Right. Okay. Now, this is known to us as project process. So to get information about work process, project manager and the project management team involves themselves in a meeting for periodically review. They want to understand what is going on. Okay, so the process can be tailored based on the project. If the project is big, then comparatively the numbers of the process are high. As per the environment, processes can be tailored. So there are some ways to optimize processes, which are, as you can see on the left hand side, that is the lean production method. That means to measure the ratio of value adding activities and non value activities by using value stream activity mapping. Second one, in the middle, you can see retrospective or lessons learned. The meetings, what you do in an organization with your project team. Okay. Okay, Pooja, I got your answer. Okay. So if the project is big, then comparatively the numbers, as I told, are very high. Okay, right. So retrospective and lesson learned means these meetings can give an opportunity to review in which you can suggest changes to improve process efficiency. Right. And lastly, it is, where is the next best funding spent? That means if the project team asks this question, then it can help with the current task or move on to next activity to optimize value delivery. These are the project processes. Lean. Do you have, I believe, Kalpana has some understanding on lean because you have completed your Six Sigma quality management.
Remaining waste basically.
Lean management.
Anywhere remaining waste in the process. It
Yes.
doesn't add value to the process.
Yes. So John, can you tell us something about this lean? As I can understand, you have good knowledge in lean.
I'm actually also pursuing the same course. So we are just
Okay.
moving through the classes.
Okay. Okay. You are also doing
Six
Six
Sigma.
Sigma.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which belt you are on?
Green belt.
Okay, green belt. Right. Okay. Absolutely right. Whatever John has told is absolutely right. So lean is all about, stopping the wastage of something. Okay.
So something like Tim Woods, in short, we would call it transportation, inventory, waiting
Yes,
time.
everything. The organizations are going towards this lean production method because they are feeling that if they focus on lean production method, then they can save some amount of money and they can focus on having better ROI. Now, balancing completion constraints. What is this? Where there is success in understanding of constraint, that project will become a successful one. If I can understand what problem I am having in my workspace, then it will give me the time to think about it. We can find the resolution and we can work more ethically. We can be successful, right? So some constraint can be fixed: delivery date, compliance with regulatory code, predetermined budget, quality policies. So a new change request from a stakeholder can expand the schedule and the budget. Balancing these constraints while maintaining stakeholder satisfaction is an ongoing project activity. So it may include meeting with the customer, sponsors, product owner. That means you are the project manager. Now you have something locked thing, something fixed thing, like the project phases, like the project date, like the project uh, phases, the policies, the quality and all. But while doing this thing, if any stakeholder provides us any change request, and if the change request has been accepted by the PMO, we may expect some sort of changes in the scope of the project. If there is a change in scope of the project, what are all the things which is getting changed? First one is time. As the time is getting changed, but cost and budget is going to get effective, right? So these are interrelated. So balancing the constraint is very much important. If you do not balance the constraint while prior of the project, or you, if you don't think on the constraint, if you do not find out the constraint and do not think about the constraint, then it may become a problematic thing and project may get terminated because of cost and budget overrun along with the time overrun. Okay. Then come
So
maintaining project team focus. Yes.
it's just a question. I mean,
Yes.
this could be both. I mean, constraints in terms, obstacles could be both internal and external also.
Of course, of course. See, external means if the person, the investor, has asked for any kind of changes in the project. Suppose the project is completely dependent upon, it's a web project. That person is creating a CRM software. Okay, so now that person is telling that it's been 6 months we are doing the job. Now I have seen a CRM somewhere. Now it is having fabulous uh, design and outstanding options. So I would like to include those options. So you can have meeting with that particular person as a project manager, and as a result, what happen? That person will request you to make some sort of changes in the project. What is going on? Now that investor is coming under the external stakeholders, right?
Yep.
Now, based on the understanding of external stakeholder, if you feel like, okay, previously when we have started the project, you didn't tell me these all things, and as a result, we have opted for some different framework, right? Now, if you think that these changes are inevitable for your project, then we need to think again. So previously we were focused towards using ABC programming language and framework, but as you need this option, we need to use XYZ programming language and framework. So 6 months has already been passed. That means the planning has already been done, the work has already been done, the collaborative process is going on. Now you need to start from the first again. That means you have lost 6 months, and in these 6 months you have lost what? You have lost time, you have lost enthusiasm, you have lost endeavor, you have lost everything. Again, you need to put 6 months into it. So you can understand, if you have promised that particular person that you are going to provide them the entire system within one year 4 months, then again you need to wait for more 6 months. The time is getting extended. But that person is not going to give the salary of the developers or the project team members, the development team. It's completely lost for the company. but also the company is going to charge some money for that as there is change in the scope. But you can definitely see that the time is getting expanded, and as the time is getting expanded, it has impression over the cost and budget.
Sir, who decide the constraints of the project? The team manager, project manager, or the project leader?
Actually, project manager, and there are some other people associated with that. See, the project manager actually is like a custodian,
Okay.
right? So if any changes he is expecting or she is expecting any kind of changes, that changes is being done by whom? The project manager, or by whom? The approval authority would be the PMO, right? CCB, Change Control Board. So when they are approving these things, all the details will be reflected on the documents, and all the documents like the project charter, the project management plan, the project scope management plan, everything will get affected, will get changed, and the budget sheet and the cost structure will also get changed. Because project manager is not the person who can directly make changes on everything. He cannot intervene everywhere. He is just a custodian. This asset doesn't belong to that person. That person is having limitations on decision making. Understood? All right. So now it is maintaining project team focus. So project managers have responsibility for assessing and balancing the project team. Okay. And focus on their attention. So when there is leading a project team, means if there a project team is leading a project, then it need to focus on balancing the workload and assess that whether the project team members are satisfied with their work or not. Here, the goal is to keep the project team focused on delivering the value and maintain awareness. If any person got misbehaved, if any person is facing like heavy load has been given upon that particular person, then you can understand that person will get demoralized, that person will get demotivated, and the work done by that person will go through many mistakes. So maintaining project team's focus is one of the main job of the project manager and the concerned team. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Project communications and engagement. Communication in a project is everything to maintain the work culture with the stakeholders. So we have already come to understand from the stakeholders performance domain that there are several types of communication, like there is verbal communication, there is non-verbal communication, there is upward communication, there is downward communication. There are so many types of pull communication, push communication. So information can be collected using various sources like meeting, conversations. So in some time, it has been observed that there are some communication requests received from stakeholders, which indicates that stakeholders are not sufficiently received information which is required by them. So in these circumstances, stakeholder engagement may be necessary to ensure stakeholders' information requirements are met. There is a reason why we need to focus on the project communication, and we need to have better planning to engage all the stakeholders. And we have that document which shows us every possible understanding on the stakeholders engagement. So let's resume. Okay, so now it's all about managing the physical resources. So planning for work connected to the logistics, right? It is very much needed, which indicates how the company policies are implemented on the project. So some project requires supply of material from the third party, but the planning, transporting, sorting, tracking, controlling, these things, these necessary and crucial things becomes the barrier and takes large amount of time and effort. So here, large amount of physical resources are, in need to integrate logistics. That means, suppose you are getting the raw materials from ABC Corporation Limited, SVT Corporation Limited, XYZ Corporation Limited. Now you have made the payment and all, but you are getting problem in delivery. Why? Because of the logistics issue, because of the tracking issue, because of the transportation and planning issue. So that is the reason it's better to have your system, your own internal system of transportation. What is the basic objective behind this thing? The basic objective behind this thing is to reduce or eliminate the material handling and storage on site. Then we can say eliminate the waste time for materials, minimize scrap and waste, and facilitate a safe work environment. So these all are the things which we can consider as uh, how to manage physical resources. Okay. Then comes working with procurements. So when you talk about procurement, then there are a lot of things which comes under like comes under this, like material, capital equipment, supplies, solutions, labor, and services. So in maximum organization, the project managers do have contracting authority. Rather, they work with contracting officers or other people who is expert in this field. Okay, they are expert in contracts, they're expert in laws, they're expert in regulations. So organizations has rigorous policies with identifies who has authority to enter into a contract, the limitations of the authority, and the process and procedures that should be followed before and throughout the procurement system. Okay, so this is the way how work how the entire project team member need to work with the procurements. Okay, so now we can see two things over here. One is bidding process and one is contracting. Now there are some process we must know about. So one of the particular thing is known to us as bidding process. It includes developing, publicizing document, bidder conferences, and selecting a bidder. There are some documents which are required for bid, which is request information. Request information means to gather information from the market before sending the bid document. This is known to us as request for information. Then comes the second thing, that is request for proposal. So this is a document which is used for complex scope where the buyer is looking for vendor. The third is request for quote. So this is a document which is used when price becomes the major factor and the proposed solution is readily available. So these are the required documents in most of the organizations, but again, there are some industry or organization which need specific documents. Okay, so they uses those things while choosing the best vendor, includes many things like experience, then sharing thing, then timely delivery, and there are so many more terms and conditions you can have. Now the second thing is contracting. So the day when the organization comes into a contract with the vendor, depending on the size of purchase, stability of the scope, and risk tolerance, it becomes a stakeholder, right? Because that person, that particular entity or the person is attaching with the project organization. Information in the stakeholders performance domain and measurement performance domain will apply to the vendors throughout the project. Okay. Then comes monitoring new work and changes. So when the project goes for adaptive approach, then it is quite understandable that the project may go through evolution throughout the project. So as a result, new product backlog will get added. So throughout the project, the same thing will keep happening. Here, the product owner takes care of the prioritize and product backlog. And throughout, if the budget becomes a constraint, then the product owner may consider the product or the project on when the highest priority items are delivered. learning throughout the project. Okay. Now these things we have an understanding while I was telling the definitions. Okay. So if we talk about learning throughout the project, then the project team must focus on ways how they can make the work more better. So work can be improved by iterations. The different ways of working can evolve the learning and work. There are many ways how we can do this. First, we can go for the knowledge management, and second, we can go for the explicit and tacit knowledge. If we go for knowledge management, then learning is a great thing we know, which always helps us. So gaining knowledge, sharing knowledge with the project team helps improve the outcome. And if we focus on explicit and tacit knowledge, then explicit knowledge is a type of knowledge which can be created using picture, number, etc. To make ourselves understand some document things or steps of software manuals, SOPs, etc. can be regarded as the tacit knowledge. So added to this, there are another type of knowledge. Uh, uh, the type of knowledge is very challenging to express, and it cannot be codified. Okay, so it is consisting of experience, insights, practical knowledge, and this kind of things. So this type of knowledge can be accomplished through networking, interviews, jobs, shadowing, discussion, forum, these all things. Now, how it is interacting with other performance domain. Now, this domain acts as one of the main domain which helps other domain to work in the project. So this project work supports by creating environment for team meeting, interactions, and stakeholder engagement by navigating uncertainty, ambiguity, and complexity, and balances the impact with other project constraints. Okay. Now you can understand that what we have done so far. Okay. So it goes like this. So we were talking about project work performance domain. So basically we have understood the project processes. There are three types of project processes. One is lean production method, one is retrospective or lessons learned, and one is where is the next best funding spent. The second one is balancing competing constraints. Third one is maintaining project team focus. Fourth one, project communications and engagement. Fifth, managing physical resources. Sixth, working with procurements. Now, working with procurements, we can see two things. One is bidding process, one is contracting. So how bid process takes place? First of all, you need to process the request for information. Then you need to focus on requesting the proposal. Means first of all, you can ask for the quotations or proposals. Then you can ask for the information whether the product or the thing is available with that person or not. Then you can request for the proposal if you find that yes, that is available with that person. And the third one is request for quote. Lastly, you are requesting or inviting quotations from every best possible suppliers or vendors or contractors. And the second one is direct contracting. Then monitoring new work and changes, learning through the project. So how we can learn through the project? We can go for the lessons learned, the knowledge management. And apart from this, we can have two types of knowledge, that is the explicit knowledge and the tacit knowledge. Okay. We must have an alignment with everything. That is what alignment stands here. Interaction with performance domain, we know this, and checking result. Okay, so now we are going to understand another new domain, that is project work performance domain. So the project work performance domain covers everything that is involved, with ensuring projects which can operate within the organization. So this domain touches everything, and not we are not going to learn that thing because we have already learned that thing. It is project work performance domain. We are going to learn something new that is known to us as delivery performance domain. Okay, so every performance domains are having some sort of requirement why we are focusing on these domains. These all are the things. right? Now, in this particular domain, you can see this domain, this delivery performance domain addresses activities and functions which are associated with delivering the scope, quality that the project was undertaken to achieve. Okay, so basically it is a bit different. Now you can focus on the right hand side. Okay, means what are the requirement what we are going to get from this particular domain. Okay, so basically we are getting contribution of the business objective and strategy, we are getting realization of outcomes of the project, we are getting planning based on time frame, we are getting understanding of requirement, and we are getting stakeholders acceptance of project deliverables. Now the project delivery performance domain is all about what your project will deliver. It focuses on an organization's ability to supply goods and service as per the standards which is expected by the customers. Now this domain actually focuses on addressing the activities and functions which are associated with delivering the scope and quality of the project. So here we need to focus on certain, you can say certain terminologies. Okay, requirement. So a condition or capability that is necessary to be present in the product, service, or result to satisfy a business need. Now, John, can you tell me that whenever we are onto a project and we tell the project manager that these are the requirements within my product, so what do you mean by that, that you are having this kind of requirement which must be present in the product?
Requirement is something which is requested by a customer. So it has to comply, or it has to meet certain standards, or it has to include the certain parameters to for them to accept that product.
Right. So you can see what requirement is. So requirement is nothing but the condition or capability which is a must do job in the project so that you can get the outcome. Suppose you are creating a project which is based on uh, some software. Okay. Now you are creating a UPI payment software. Now what is the requirement over there? The requirement, the main requirement of the scope of the project is to transfer money from one account to another account. So that transferring money from one account to another account is a requirement, we can say, in the deliverable. So the deliverable is a SaaS based software, we can understand this thing. Then comes work breakdown structure. It is nothing but it is like the hierarchy, of any project operations. Suppose you are working as a project manager and you have a large team to handle. Now, is it possible for a particular person to know everything about every stakeholders? Of course not. There is a reason we need to make the work breakdown structure. In short, it is known to us as WBS, so that we can break the work down into several pieces to manage easily and closely, and we can engage some sort of stakeholders so that they can take care of those smaller chunks of work, and as a whole we can complete the project work. That is what known as work breakdown structure to us. Associated with work breakdown structure, there is one thing that is known to us as work breakdown structure dictionary. This dictionary is actually the list of the people who are been engaged in every work breakdown structure hierarchy. What their name is, what their department is, what they're actually doing, and their responsibilities. Okay. Then comes definition of done. This DOD is only available in project management, you can see. It is basically a checklist that all the things, whatever you have completed, is already done or it already complete or not. Normally, if any person tells us that what is the status of the work, so after we complete everything, moreover everything, we used to say, okay, it is done, it is complete. But still, those things are not completed. Like in the project also, if you complete with the programming, creating a software, creating a deliverable, unless and until you hand over all the papers and the project gets closed, you can't tell that it is completed. That is what definition of done is in project. Quality, the degree to which a set of inherent characteristics fulfill requirement. That means the thing what you need within your project to the fullest is known to us as quality. Cost of quality, it is very important thing, COQ. So cost of quality means this is a type of cost which is regarded as an investment by the organization, by the performing organization, in order to understand the product's quality requirement and to cover up the product's failures. Okay, so these requirement, work breakdown, structure, definition of done, quality, and cost of quality, you need to understand. It's better you can take a screenshot, or it is also available in the Pimbox 7th edition. Okay. So delivery of value. A project which provides the deliverables throughout the project lifecycle can start delivering values to the business, customers, other stakeholders. And on the other hand, the project which delivers in bulk at the end of the project lifecycle generates value after initial deployment. So a business case document provides justification of value received from the project. Based on the development approach, this business case may vary. So documents which includes estimation, return on investment, these all are some sort of example of this type of business documents. Okay. Then comes the deliverables. We all are aware of deliverables. Like, so Ravi, can you tell us what is deliverable? It's very easy.
Sir, deliverable, it is just simple. It is outcome of a product, what we
Yes.
are doing, project
Yes.
outcome.
Yes, project outcome. So a project which provides the deliverables, right? It could be any project, and the deliverables could be anything. Like it could be a physical product, it could be a service, it could be a result, it could be anything. Okay. So we can say that the project deliverable means the result of the work performed by the project team. Okay, so there are various types of deliverables. First, we would talk about the internal deliverables, then the other one. So this internal deliverable are created for internal stakeholders, right? John, can you tell us what could be the internal deliverables for the internal stakeholders we can have while and after completion of the project?
Internal deliverables are something that is more accountable for the people who are involved in that. So it is divided into, maybe a project is divided into different levels.
But
So
what those things could be? Because there are deliverables why we are taking the project, because we need to produce some deliverables, and the entire deliverable is for the external stakeholder, that is the client who has initiated the project. But after and throughout the project work, some internal stakeholders also get some sort of deliverables. What
So
that
just
could be?
said, the
should be
checklist,
something.
the completion of the report or something.
Completion of the reports.
Yeah.
Or some key performance indexes that they'll be monitoring.
Okay. See, actually, while in the project work and after closing the project work, we can have so many things like analytics and testing results. We can have short analysis, we can have project charter, we can have project management plan, and there are so many documents what we can have. These are the internal deliverables for the internal stakeholder. They can gather their experience on the work, right? And then comes the external deliverables. So then comes the external deliverables. So the deliverables which are created for the clients, customers, or the other stakeholders comes under this external deliverables. We know this. Those deliverables are wireframes, MVPs, prototypes, source code, progress report, and many more things. Now, when it comes to deliverables, then there are some influences which holds great impact on the deliverables. So we need to understand that thing. So what are the thing which is impacting the project? First of all, requirement. Okay. So when we started this session, we have come to know what requirement is. So requirement is a condition or capability that is necessary to be present in a product, service, or result to satisfy a business needs. As requirements are having great impact, we find requirement detail in various business documents. While planning for the project, high level of requirement understanding starts to get the project goals. Also, there are some projects which come to understand the requirements while in the project. So there are certain kinds of requests does exist. So what they are? They are, the first one is requirement elicitation, what you can see. Second one is evolving and discovering requirements, and the third one is managing requirements. First, let me tell you about the requirement elicitation. Elicit means to draw out, to bring forth, or evoke. So it's all about collecting documents. Much of the requirement remain in thinking position with the stakeholders and not documented anywhere. So the requirement should be elicited and the method to do it must be logical. There are some criteria to create these requirements which are clear, concise, verifiable, we can say traceable. That means suppose you are the project manager and you are onto a talk or a conversation with the client side. So the client side is means the client don't know about so many things on the platform through which he would like to come up with the product, means the deliverable. Okay. Now the person would like to produce four-wheeler, but that person don't have any experience of producing four-wheeler. That person is not an automobile engineer. Now, working with this kind of people who is not from that particular domain and is trying to serve a domain like this, it becomes a problematic thing because that person will not have an understanding or grip over the materials. That person won't be able to express himself or herself. That is the reason requirement of elicitation is required. All the documents, whatever that person is telling, need to be documented. Then only the project can get a progress. Then comes the second one, evolving and discovering requirements. So in some projects where the requirements are not well defined, can go for prototype, storyboard, demonstration, mock-ups, which help to evolve the project. So here an approach from stakeholders can be seen like I will know when I will see. That means suppose that automobile person has already told you that I am going to build a sports car, something like that. But this sports car is not for the track, it is for the common people who want to use a racing type car, a racing model car. But I should limit the speed because I don't want that people are doing rush driving after they're getting a sports like car. So this is my requirement, but I don't know how it is going to look like. It could look like the Lamborghini, it could look like the Ferrari, it could look like BMW, Audi, something like this. But I don't know how it is going to look like. That means that person doesn't have any kind of understanding. So if through evolving and discovering requirement, we can do one thing, we can create the prototype of that particular model and we can present it to the client. So after getting the details of the entire car, the client then tell either yes or no. If yes, then you can go on. Maximum thing is you need to make some sort of change as per the requirement of the client. That is what evolving or discovering requirement is. Then comes managing requirements. Okay, so after requirement gets documented, then the most crucial step is to manage them. If the management of requirement is poor, then there are possibilities of rework, there are possibilities of scope creep, there are possibilities of customer dissatisfaction, budget overrun, schedule delay, and everything is interconnected. So usually there are some persons known as business analyst, product owner, value engineer who actually takes care of these things using some special softwares, backlog, traceability matrix, and other processes. Okay. Then comes the scope decomposition and completion of the deliverables when we're talking about scope definition. So as now the requirement are defined and the scope was fixed, but as it is defined again, the scope can be defined again. So there are some sort of methods we can use to do this thing. First one is scope decomposition and second one is completion of deliverables. If we talk about scope decomposition, then we are already aware of decomposition using work breakdown structure. We have seen work breakdown structure where we can decompose the entire working responsibility and break into smaller chunks, and we can put some sort of manpower in order to control that specific area. That is known to us as work breakdown structure. So using work breakdown structure, we can here also decompose the scope. When we get more into each level, we can get a greater representation of deliverable. And apart from that, we can identify the project charter, we can identify the roadmap, and we can assume the common factors like functionality, data resources, security level, and these all things. Then comes second thing, that is completion of deliverables. So it is based on approach that is used. There are three different ways of approach which we can use over here. First one is acceptance or completion. Second one is technical performance measurement. And the third one is definition of done. So definition of done is very much known to you. And if we talk about acceptance and completion criteria, then this criteria required to be met before the project deliverables gets accepted by the customer or the project considered as complete. Technical performance measure. So we know what work breakdown structure is, right? And we know what breakdown structure dictionary is. So it elaborates the information of each deliverables in the work breakdown structure. Okay. Then comes moving targets of completion. Now the project which operates in rapid changing environment, goal may subject to change. In competitive market with new releases, the features planned for a new release may be updated. So you can take an example of mobile devices, the smartphone device what you use. So there is a term known as done drift. Okay, it is also terminology done drift. You can take this name, write down this name, it is very important. So done drift is mainly the longer the project takes to complete, the further the project done is likely to move. This project, actually the project team tracks the planned rate of the project goal achieved relatively to the rate of progress towards completion. So we are aware of scope creep. Previously in previous session also I have mentioned what scope creep is. The scope or requirement are accepted without adjusting the corresponding schedule, budget or resource, which comes under scope creep. So scope creep means doing the project work which is out of my scope of work. So when we, so when project operates in more stable environment, they face scope creep. So to combat that scope creep, project teams uses a change control system where all the changes are assessed for the possible value they bring to the project and the potential resources, you can say, or time and budget which is needed to realize the potential values. Okay. Then comes COQ or cost of quality. Okay. Now, cost of quality is what we can say COQ. It is a method used to find appropriate balance for investing in quality prevention and appraisal to avoid defect and product failures. Okay. So if we see COQ, then basically COQ has four things. One is prevention, one is appraisal, one is internal failure, one is external failure. So we can categorize using two options. So there are two categories. One is prevention, one is appraisal, one is internal factor, one is external factor. So let me tell you about the prevention. So this type of cost that a company incurs to prevent defects and failures. Assume you are, yes. Anybody is telling something?
No.
Okay, I got one voice. Okay, so assume that you are creating a product and thus some cost has occurred. So prevention costs avoid quality problems and associated with the design, implementation and maintenance of the quality management system. So we can say that we can group with this prevention in 4 ways. One is the training and development program, one is establishing standard for quality services, one is developing and using quality time, and one is developing a plan for quality production. So example of prevention costs are, new product review, process control, employee training, quality audits. So these costs comes under the prevention cost. Then comes appraisal cost. So there are also some costs which incurred for quality control. Okay, company wants to ensure whether product and services met the standards or not. Okay, so appraisal. What are the costs which we can consider as appraisal cost? First one is verification of the material process. Second one is we can say quality audits, and the third one is assessment of the supplier rating. These three are the things through which we can understand the appraisal. Then comes two things. One is internal failures and one is external failure. So internal failure is a type of cost associated with the finding defects before the delivery of the product happens. So these are the cost of the errors discovered during the development of the testing time. Some examples, could be the scrap, rework, retest, these things. And if we talk about the external failures, then these are the failures or the errors arise from the defects which are noticed after the project or the product leave the factory premise and customer has received the product with the remediation. Okay, like example would be a better for that. Like the example of repairs and services, warranty claim, return, reputation, these all things.